Hello everyone, this is Gail from Gail's Upstairs Studio. I hope you're all doing well. I have recently picked up this little set of Coreal watercolors. It is called a mini and it has intensity colors in it, and there's just 6, and I haven't played with it yet, and I thought today I would swatch it out with you, and where there's only 6 colors, thought it might be kind of fun to show you how I do a color chart for it, a color mixing chart. This is the box we have. Sorry, my lights are getting in the way. Nice little box. I have opened it already. This is the pamphlet that comes in it, and it shows you the range of core colors. And a swatch card, which I have already written the names of the colors in. We'll swatch right on that. And these are the colors. That was stuck right to the paper. Okay, so these are very bold and intense colors, and I have been keeping an eye on it for a long time. They sell them now at Michael's, and with my rewards voucher and a discount, I felt okay to buy it. They are kind of expensive usually. So we will swatch it out. I am using a Velvet Touch 8 for this. I'm going to start with Hansa Yellow Light. And this paint is bound with a different binder than other brands. Core is owned by the Golden Company, and they use Aquazol instead of gum arabic to bind their paints. That's just what I understand, and it makes them move differently, move a lot actually. I'll show you with the transparent Pyrrole Orange. I'm assuming it's going to do the same thing as the yellow did. I'm putting mass tone up here. By the way, this swatch card is very nice. It feels like it might be 100% cotton even. Very nice paper. Now, if we take water and move up into it, you'll see that that color grabs right on and moves. That's nice. I like that. That was transparent Pyrrole Orange. This next one is quinacridone Magenta. Oh, intense is right. Very vibrant colors. What I'm doing is I'm cleaning the paint off the brush and then picking up clean water every time. That's what you're seeing. See how quickly that travels? That can either be a good thing or kind of a frustrating thing, depending, but I think it's going to be fun. This looks really dark. This is dioxazine purple, and it is. Looks almost black right this minute, but I have a, yes, seeing my water, it's very, very vibrant color. We'll just see. I have a feeling we're gonna see some, yes. Oh, holy cow. That's very cool. So that was dioxazine purple, and I'm gonna have to lift some up so that in the future I can read that. Be interesting to see what that looks like when it's all dry. Yeah, see it keep. I have a feeling it's just going to keep moving down in there, but that's okay. I know dioxazine purple when I see it. Next one is cerulean blue. They re-wet nicely. I didn't pre-do them or anything, so. It's a little bit of a lighter color, still pretty intense, but lighter. So we'll see what that one does too. Pretty darn nice. It's kind of shocking how much that travels. It's well known for that, but I didn't really, oh, I just went on there with pure water. That's not what I wanted. I'll try to clean that up a little bit too. Okay. This last one is Phthalo Turquoise. Ooh, I like that. I have a feeling that one is going to jump at the water. Yes, it does. Oh, like that very much. That actually makes me realize that this color chart that I want to do is a very good idea. These are a little different combination than what I usually deal with. So I think this will be a great little set to do a color mixing chart with. So I have here some Blick Premier 7x10 300 GSM 140 pound 100% cotton watercolor paper, and I like it very much. And I thought the size would be perfect for what we're dealing with. And what I've done is I have taped this all off. I measured it all out, drew it out, and then I've taped it off so I don't have to worry about staying in the lines. It's gonna make it so it does it for me. And I wrote each color down the side and each color across the top in the same exact order. And I'll explain as I go along how that's going to work. I've gone and gathered a couple of other things. This is just the top of a enameled refrigerator box, and this is a smaller version, and I'll be using these to mix our colors with. And I'm going to try to keep this in frame so you can see what I'm doing. Our first color is Hansa Yellow Light. And what I'm going to do is I need to have it by itself. And then I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 other little puddles of it. So and then I'm going to pick up just a little more, and I'm going to put just Hansa Yellow Light in the box where they meet. This is Hansa Yellow Light, this is Hansa Yellow Light. And in this triangle, I'm going to do it in Mass Tone. So you, with this first square of each one, right down the middle here, you'll see the pure color not mixed, and you'll see it in its Mass Tone and in a lighter tone. Adding a lot of water. Pat it off a little bit, and then I'm going to go into this triangle. And there is a lot of different ways that people do this, and I learned this from someone on YouTube years ago, and I've just always done it this way. There's a lot more creative ways to do it. There's a lot more information you can get from one if you do it in other ways. There is a way to do it so that you can not just find out the lighter and darker value of mixes, but you can in one puddle do 25% of one color and 50% of the other, or whatever. You know, there's a lot of different ways to do it. This is just the way that I've always done it. So this is our Hansa Yellow Light. Now in this puddle, we need to mix a color into it to see what kind of color we can come up with. And I'm just doing as close to 50-50 as I can. So I'm going to add transparent Pyrrole Orange to this one. And what I'm going to do is pick up my paint and try to get as close to what I got. I've got quite a bit in that puddle, but I'm just going to slide it beside it until I see that I've got about the same amount, and then I'm just going to mix them together. And this square will be its mass tone. Need a little bit more water, I think. Make that spread a little easier. There we go. So that is Pyrrole Orange and Hansa Yellow Light mixed together. And now we'll go back into that same puddle. It didn't do a very good job lightening this up, so I'm going to try a little harder this time. There, that's better. So now we'll go Hansa Yellow Light mixed with transparent Pyrrole Orange in its watered down form. And I try to go as light as I can, just so you can see kind of the two extremes of each mix. You see how much information you're getting already, because these two colors mixed together are very, very orange in the mass tone, but you can see a little bit more yellow in it in the diluted form. So this process just helps you learn your paints. It's fun to do, but it just basically gets you to know your paints a little better. Now we go down to Quinacridone Magenta, and we'll take Quinacridone Magenta, and we'll just kind of slide it beside our Hansa Yellow, and we will mix that together. I think I got a little too much magenta on that, so I'm going to go back and pick up a little bit more Hansa Yellow Light. And now I went the other way. And that happens sometimes, and that is another good thing to practice when you're doing this, is it kind of helps you learn your ratios a little bit better. And I suppose it can be seen as wasteful, but it isn't, as long as you're giving yourself information and learning. So this is Hansa Yellow Light and Quinacridone Magenta. Need to make that a little wetter. And it can be confusing to read until you get used to it. It took me a while. Matter of fact, it took me a while to even want to do one. But if you want to try it, I suggest, instead of doing like a whole great big set of 12 or set of 24 paints, just pick 6, see how they mix together. This is actually very easy to remember and easy to read. It does get a little complicated when you have a great big huge chart, but this one isn't bad. So this is going to be Hansa Yellow Light and Twin Magenta. And it's diluted form. That's very pretty. I got that nice and light too. Next is Dioxazine Purple, and I am going to make sure not to overdo it because I don't have a huge puddle. There we go, that's about right. I think with just a little tiny bit more of the Hansa Yellow on this, we would probably get a pretty decent deep brown. This is got just a touch of a purple hue to it, but let's see what it does when we add water. I would say quite a bit of water on this one. Yeah, that still kind of has a tinge of purple, but let's see. In the back of this swatch chart, I'm gonna just go back in with a touch more yellow into this. Yeah, that will make a very nice brown. And then mass tone, it would be nice and deep. So, see, that's some of the information you get from just playing with your paints. Next is Cerulean Blue. I got a little bit too much on there. It's a very bright, springy green. That's a very nice fluted color. I like that. And next is Phthalo Turquoise. Gave myself an extra puddle by accident. But I actually think I'm going to mix this in the bigger puddle. Yeah, that's about right. Wow. That is very, very intense and bright. I'm just gonna bring it over here. That kind of looks like Easter grass to me. Okay, now I'm going to pause for a moment and I'm going to go and clean my water cups out and I think clean this up too. That's one thing about doing this. You always want to make sure you have clean water and plenty of mixing areas so that your colors don't contaminate one another because you're looking for the truest form of a mix. So I'll be right back. Okay. And once, no matter how big your color chart is, it goes quicker the further you get along in your chart because now we have this many less colors to mix. So the first couple of rows might seem a little daunting, but once you get toward the middle, it goes quite quick. All right, our next true color that we need to lay down here is transparent pyrrole orange. So we're going to pick some up. We're going to do the mass tone where they meet. Remember, transparent pyrrole orange on this side and transparent pyrrole orange on the top. So where they meet, we will do just that color with no mix. Got that very wet. And then I'm just going to add a little plain water right to the brush here and do the diluted version of that. It's pretty nice. And now we'll go in and pick up some more and just and we don't need to mix it with Hansa yellow because we've already done that. So we just keep going down the line. The first one is we need to mix it with quinacridone magenta. And once again, I'm going to backtrack and put a little bit more of the orange in it. There we go. So when transparent pyrrole orange is mixed with quin magenta, this is what we get. We'll add water to it. And I try to, I think I've said it already, but I do try to make the diluted square as light as possible so you can really get a true sense of both ends of the scale. And now we do orange with dioxazine purple. That purple is very strong. Cerulean blue. Oh, and once in a while you'll come across a mix that you do not like. I'm going to add a little bit blue to it just to see. That. I'm going to actually pull some more orange down, try to get a little bit more of a mass tone because it was already too watery. So, and that happens too. And even if you've done it a million times, and we need to be mixing that with cerulean blue. We are going to get quite a few browns here, but it's useful to know those too. Actually, this is a very nice one. And see, in its lightest form, I actually like the lightest form of that. I do want to try what would happen if I added more of the cerulean blue. And I went a little too far. I'm gonna go back just a little, a tiny bit more. I'm going for a gray tone here. Yeah. So the cerulean blue and Hansi transparent pyrrole orange will gray out quite nicely. It's kind of a nice warm gray. Be great for seashore rocks and things. Okay, phthalo turquoise. I'm gonna pull just a little bit more of the pyrrole orange first because that phthalo turquoise is very strong and it's gonna, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, I love this color. Oh, I love greens, and this one is beautiful. Love that. Nice deep green. Very nice. I really like that one. Now I am just going to take my paper towel and I'll continue to do that through the process. Next is Corn Magenta. I'm going to be mixing this with dioxazine purple. Once again, I need to go back and pick up a little bit more of the magenta because even over the magenta, the dioxazine purple wants to take over. Okay. Could have added a little bit more even of the magenta, but you can see from the swatch, it is a little brighter. I am going to see what a more magenta heavy next will bring us. Oh wow, that's pretty too. That's just with a little bit more magenta than dioxazine purple in the mix. I like that. Cerulean blue. That's interesting. It's an interesting color. Very nice. And actually, I'm going to do the same thing with this one and go in with a little bit more of the magenta, just to see. It's not a ton different than that one, but it is here. That's nice. Next up is Cuisine Purple. That is so strong, as dioxazine purple should be. That a little too dark, however, I do like it. We're just gonna cerulean blue. And all that's left is just to plug in the phthalo turquoise by itself. And I will be back in a moment after I've torn the tape off to see how nice it looks and to wrap up. Okay, I am back. I have peeled the tape. I have erased any pencil marks that I could after I did that. And this is what we have. And I'll be honest with you, I am surprised at the options we have here. I had no idea how any of these would mix together, but there is a lot of floral opportunity in here, and where I usually concentrate on florals most of the time, this excites me. And remember that all of these colors came from just these 6. So I highly suggest, if you have a set that you've never done this with, especially if it's a small one, give it a try. If you're new to watercolor, go buy yourself 6 tubes and a split primary and play with them that way. And it doesn't have to be the big brands, but I do suggest, if you are going to invest in the big professional brands, that you do take the time to do this, because it gives you a lot of information. I mean, I think a lot of people would be surprised that from these 6 colors would come all of this. And honestly, it's limitless, the potential of it, because if you aren't doing 50-50 mixes, if you're adding just a little bit of this to the other, it goes on and on and on. So it's fun to do, especially on a rainy, cloudy day like today is. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you next time.